Welcome to this tutorial of making a simple GIF animation using an image sequence in Photoshop. I'm personally using Photoshop CS6, but this does work with previous versions. So to start, we're going to need to import all of the image sequence into Photoshop itself. It's actually really easy to do that. We just select File, Script, and then something called Load Files into Stack. What that does is it makes all of your images a layer on the right hand side. So we're just going to select Browse and then look for our image sequence on our PC. Select all of the images you would like and then press OK. Make sure they're all selected and make sure they're all in this drop down here, and then select OK, and you'll see at the right hand side it's importing each of the images one by one as a new layer. Now, just a note, don't try to edit the actual document nor press any other tabs while it's doing that, because it does mess up. So just let it do. Once it's imported, we want to enable the timeline at the bottom of Photoshop. So to do that, we just select Window and then Timeline. This is to actually make the GIF itself. And what we want to do is, because at the moment this is basically a Photoshop file with tons of layers. That's all it is. But we want to make each of these layers themselves as frames. Now, if you've got this timeline enabled, at the very right hand side of it, if you select, there's a feature that says Make Frames from Layers. If we select this, it automatically makes every single layer into a frame. So I'm just selecting Play, which again was at the bottom of your screen. You can just press space as well. It's a cool shortcut to play it. And one thing you may notice is your GIF may be playing backwards. Like for mine, the smoke's meant to be going the other way because there's a fire on the right hand side. The smoke shouldn't be going that way. But luckily, this isn't like a very tedious thing where you have to move a layer at a time. Again, there's a feature for that. So if we select the drop down and then reverse frames. And now for me, this is going to be playing the correct way. Now, one I'd say major thing you'd want to consider is the frame rate. Like if you want to do a slideshow, you may want to make each of these frames maybe 3-4 seconds. But normally I kind of want it to look like a video playing. So to change these, you can just at the bottom you select and you can choose how many seconds you want each layer to show for. I personally select them all by just holding left shift at the very end and clicking, or just by selecting all on the drop down, and then select under any of the frames and choose other. I personally use 0.03 because it's kind of like a video playback. If I just play this here, this is kind of the speed I'm looking for when I personally create a GIF. Now to save it, we want to use the Save for Web feature. So if you click File, Save for Web, the shortcut for it will be on the right hand side if you use it often. Okay, cool. It may take a few seconds to actually import into this Save for Web window, depending on how many frames you do have. You may notice the quality isn't the greatest. If you do want just pure quality, then select colors and just choose the highest bitrate you can. But really think of the audience when you make a GIF. Like who's going to be seeing this? Like do they need to see it in this kind of scale? Like at the bottom left it shows how big this file is going to be. This is going to be 15 megabyte. So it's basically almost like an embedded video. So you really consider where it's going to be posted. Like if you want to post it on Twitter, for example, I think they have a cap currently of 5 meg. So sometimes you really want to bring the file size down. So for example, if I went to bring it down as much as I could, okay, I don't need 120, I don't need 256 colors. Personally, I don't need this high res. If I use 100% here, it's too zoomed in. People are only going to see it in a small window. I could just scale this down using the width. And again, the file size has gone down tremendously already. So it's like less than 5. So this is good to post on Twitter if I wanted to. Then all we have to do now is select Save and choose where you would like to save it. So I'm just going to call this tutorial test. And now I'm going to quickly open that on my desktop. So desktop tutorial test. There we go. And it's created the GIF. It's rather simple to do. I hope this tutorial helped. I'll be doing a few more follow-up tutorials after this. So how to add like text on top of this GIF or a logo will be the next tutorial. And then after that, also how to create a GIF on top of a GIF. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.